Hello guys, in this slightly different video, because today, instead of our usual bombing biters and messing around with their families, we'll do something different. We'll talk about the Factorio expansion, Space Age, because today they announced the release date, which will be in like 3 months from now, and because of that, I want to go through all of the blog posts and quickly tell you a summary of what can you expect in that expansion. This won't be a very in-depth video, I will go through each different blog post very quickly. However, there is quite a few of those blog posts, so it might take actually some time to talk about every single one. So let's go to the first one, which is page 5. Yeah, here is the very first blog post, which started the weekly post. However, we'll go even further away in time to this and this blog post. So let's start with the future plans and then with the expansion news. Okay, so this is the oldest blog post that is talking about the expansion. So here the Factorio developers are considering what to do with the game, and there are 4 different options. They can do free updates like Minecraft, go with Factorio 2.0, release small DLC like Paradox, or one big expansion pack. And here they are considering all of those options. And out of 4 of those, they decide to go with the one big DLC. Because free updates don't make a lot of money, Factorio 2 don't have any sense in it, because the Factorio 1 is already like doing good. Small DLC, they don't like it, so one big expansion is the way to go. So let's look at the date. It's 2021. So they are looking for the people to hire. They already hired the creator of the space exploration, which is very similar mod to the Space Age. They also looking for the artists, operation developers, programmers, and so on. There's also some data, like how many YouTube videos they are about Factorio, development time, commits in the GitHub, and all of that. I'm not gonna read every single data, you can do it now, and I'm scrolling there, and there is some info. I don't remember what was that about, but feel free to read it. So this is like the very first post announcing the DLC. So now we'll go to different post, this one. So this is like the very first post talking about expansion stuff. Here is their plan. How does it look to develop an expansion? Like, you first need some plans, baby steps to do some things, like design the braille, for example. Then you have to define these subsystems, make a prototype, make some tweaks, do beta test, and release. So yeah, there is a lot of steps to make the DLC, and this is 2022, so it's 1 year since they told that it probably take less than a year to develop an expansion. Yeah, they are a little bit off on that. So here is the plan, how to make the expansion. Also, you can see that the price for the game, for the expansion, was going to be $30, but it won't. It will be $35. Let's see. Release strategy. They are talking about the release. They saying what was wrong with the Factorio going out of early access, and what they want to do with the release of the expansion. So they don't want to just release the DLC, paid DLC. They also want to release the lots of quality of life updates, API scripting, modding, and all of that stuff, to also support the core game, not only the DLC. So they have big plans for the release. They are also upgrading the graphics, like quality of life. You can see your enemies slowly decaying into dust, which is very nice. And also there is some concept art for the game. But so far, we haven't seen this implemented, so we'll see how it's gonna look in the game. This is so far only a concept art. So that was like the first news about upcoming news. So now let's go to other news. So this is 367. So that was this one. and there was nothing about the expansion, something about Nintendo Switch, something about the 1st of April. So let's go to this page. More about the Switch, Apple, nobody care about Apple, some recap about 2022. And here is like the first news about the expansion. Like from this news, they are doing weekly blog post explaining all of the mechanics about the game. So let's open it. I have to clean up all of those. This is not needed. And here we are. Factorio Space Age. This is also a time when they announced the name of the expansion, because before it was just the expansion, big expansion, and from 2023 we know that it's gonna be the Factorio Space Age. You can look, there is the animation, how the spaceship looks like, and I'm not gonna lie, it already looks pretty impressive. Yeah, I definitely like it. Like, I'm looking for any placeholders, like wrong machines and so on, but no, it looks already very clean on this image GIF. So here's some information about the Space Age, what it is, and how it's gonna work. Like, you can see there are 4 different planets you can explore after the Nauvis. It's also simplified the research tree on Nauvis, so you can quicker go to different planets. Here is just a quick information that there will be like 4 new planets, and they will be unique, and new challenges, and new biters to kill, but we'll go deeper into information about all of those planets later. They also explain that they want to make exploring every single planet more rewarding. Like for example, some technologies are locked on these planets. So if you want to make like cliff explosives, they are locked in a planet. If you want to make better Spidertrons, they are on different planet. If you want to make, I don't know, some other late game stuff, they are locked on different planets. So it's like encourage you to exploration. Yeah, here is the artillery, cliff explosives, Spidertrons, best modules, and personal equipment. All of that is on a different planet. Version 2.0 won't be just the expansion, there'll be also a lot of added to the core of the game. Okay, they explained the state of the game, like, do you remember those steps I was talking about? So they are slowly going through those steps, and they are doing 3 different type of testing right now. The office LAN parties, the individual testers, and also the developers playing the game. They are explaining that the game was too long, and they decrease it to being more playable for casual players. And also there's a note about space age and space exploration, like stating all of the differences, like for example the game length, the complexity, engine support, target audience, and all of that information. Like for example the space age is more casual, so there is different target player, it's quicker to beat, less complexity, and it's better optimized than the space exploration. So those 2 modes are similar, but they are not the same. If you want to read more, feel free to do it, but we'll go to a different news. So here we are going for like the first blog post explaining like the development, what they was doing, and yeah, that stuff. So the first information is about the smarter robots. So let's open that. So this blog post is talking about all of the improvement to the AI of bots. For example, when you order the materials, right now the bots are pretty stupid, and it works in a way that you need 100 bots to use this chest. So the game will find 100 closest bots to use for this task, which was sometimes very inefficient, because these 100 bots might be far away and it would take them a lot of time to fly to this chest. This is why they changed their AI. Oh, there is the video. Yeah, they are using just a few bots because it's quicker to reuse those bots instead of going with 100 bots from the whole factory. And this blog post is explaining a lot of those little AI improvements. Also, here is the GIF how the construction was working. Like you can see right now, it's pretty bad. Because player have a personal robots. Those robots do the little task, and then the rest of the task is being added to a queue of different bots. So they have to fly very long distance to fulfill this task. And in the expansion and also in the vanilla, when the Factorio 2.0 come out, it will work way smarter. Oh, there is the example. Yeah, so the game is reusing the bots that are the closest to the task, which greatly improve the performance. Okay, to be honest, does it improve the performance? I don't know if it's improved the performance, but it definitely make the whole operation way quicker. So it will be way better to play. About the performance, they are talking something about it here. If you want, feel free to read that. So there is another picture, another GIF explaining how it works. Yeah, the bots are way smarter. They are being reused for the task close by. Also, the new feature, RoboPorts can now request the logistic bots, construction bots, and the repair packs, which will be very good feature because now you can request, like for example, here, can you see my mouse? Yes, you can see my mouse. You can request those RoboPorts to always have some logistic bots, so it will be way quicker for you to request and trash items. There are also changes to the charging priority and charging orders, and yeah, the bots are also smarter for this one. This is the old way of bot charging. Those reports are not being used while those are getting a lot of queue, and now it looks more like this. So instead of making huge queue on the left side, they want to find the closest unoccupied roboport to make charging better. Also, they fixed that problem that if you had factory built like this, your bots could be stuck in a loop doing nothing, and now they will be way smarter. And this is all what the blog post 374 is explaining. Everything about quality of life for the robots. So now let's go for another one. And another blog post is about the quality. Quality is a new mechanic in Factorio DLC. It works in a way that you can increase the quality of every single thing in Factorio to improve how it works. For example, the assembling machines will craft faster. Solar panels will produce more electricity. The gun turrets will have more range, more damage, and be overall better. You can also make legendary pistols to increase their damage, and yeah, all of the machines, all of the tools, and basically everything will have the quality which you can use to improve your factory. Here is like a list of what you can expect from each quality thing, and here you can see quality being used in practice. Like they're using the quality assembler with quality modules being so fast because it's being boosted by quality beacons that it needs multiple quality stack inserters. So we can make your factory way more compressed, efficient, and yeah, it can work better. Like look at those belts. Also you can have bigger tier of the belt, like fourth level, which will be even better than blue belts, but it will be later announced. And the quality works in a way that you got new quality modules. And when you craft something, there is a small chance that you will get a better quality. So for example, here they are getting the green quality, but they can also get the, oh, there is the blue quality. So everything is random, which is kind of bad in game like Factorio. But no worries, they come up with a solution for that. And the solution is the recycle. It's taking the items and it's recycle them in the previous parts. So you can basically craft like here and filter the no quality items. Then you can send them to a recycle and reuse them to iron, and then you can take this iron, put it again here and try to make the better quality. And this way you can go to the legendary items. Okay, let's see. Okay, here is the example of how it's working. So the recycles are taking the green circuits, they are changing those to the basic parts. They also have the recycle, the quality modules inside, so they are outputting better quality of the ingredients, and then they are being crafted to higher tiers. And anything that is above blue tier is being stockpiled for use case, and everything else is being recycled into like trying to get more higher stuff. Okay, let's see. There is more information about the strategies, how it should work. Also, when it comes to recycles, they output only like one quarter of items they are getting, something very low. So you cannot just put tons of productivity modules in them and print items. It's not that easy. So there are some strategies that you can use. And here they are explaining that you can customize how you use the quality. Like, for example, when you're making the request for the assembling machines, you can request what tier you want, or it can be any tier. And there's a lot of places where you have to specify that thing. But this feature is like very good implemented because they was working on it for a very long time, way before the expansion. Also, the very interesting thing about the quality is you can use it for a mod making. So you can make a custom mods with different quality, and yeah, the possibility is endless. So I can't wait to see what modders are gonna do about it. And here they're explaining that the quality will be behind unless you unlock it. They was doing some LAN playtests, so they tested it and got some feedbacks. So this feature should be very good implemented. So yeah, that was the 375 blog post about the quality. So now let's go to another one, research and technology. And this blog post is describing a new way, a new approach to the research tree, adding new different technologies that you have to unlock to progress. But let's start from the beginning. So at the very beginning, there was a big drama about the quality. Some players didn't like it because it's random and so on, and drama and canceling on Twitter. So yeah, if you want, you can read that. But the long story short, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. It's not necessary to win the game. It's just a late game thing that you can do if you want to pump like few hundred hours into a single save file. So you can turn it on or off. It's up to you. So it's like a big drama. If you want, read it. If not, don't read it. But this blog post is about the research tree. So they are changing the approach. Now, instead of just researching everything, there is also other way to research the technology. You can do it by mining crude oil, mining the uranium ore, and crafting iron, crafting copper. This way, to progress, you have to go like dedicated path. So this should make the game more noob friendly, because to unlock the refinery, you first need to find the crude oil and extract it. So there is like, you are not overwhelmed by the amount of stuff you have to do, because you are getting only a few information at the time. And yeah, this is about that. It's especially useful in the early game to make it simpler for the very noob players. Here is the technology tree, and yeah, that's all. Also, the research queue is always on. So yeah, this is like a huge change, huge quality of life. It used to be in a way that you have to launch your first rocket to unlock the research queue, but it was kind of annoying, and most of the players were just turning on the research queue from the very beginning with a commands or during the world creation. So now, instead of doing that, it's turned on by default, which is a huge plus. And also, they're adding the productivity researches. So now you can, for example, okay, this is pretty old, because you cannot make the rocket control units anymore in the expansion, because they simplified the way the rocket is being crafted. But yeah, this is old blog post. So this is the example. Like, they are increasing the productivity of your crafting stuff by researching the technology. So here's the rocket control units, but there is more research for the Infinity. And yeah, this is everything about this blog post. So now let's go to another one. It's a new rail system. Let's see. So this blog post is explaining changes to the rail, how it works, how it will be better, improved, and so on. And the long story short, currently in Factorio, it's very hard to make customized rails. Let me find the example. Okay, here you can see that you can rotate the rails in every different direction. You can make tons of spaghetti with them. Here, you can make tons of spaghetti with them. You can, yeah, do anything in the new Factorio. which allows you to be more flexible with your designs. In old Factorio, let's see, yeah, for example, here, this is a new or old version. Okay, I'm looking at it and I'm not sure. Let's see here. Oh, there is also changed the texture. In new Factorio is a little bit cleaner. I think it's a little bit cleaner, but it's up to personal preference. Also, the thing that you can see here, there is the light signal. Can I zoom in? There is the light signal. In the Factorio 1.1, it can be placed only on a straight rail. In the Factorio 2.0, you can place it basically anywhere. So you can make more complicated intersections, because intersection can be more compressed, smaller, and yeah, overall better. They are changing how the control points work. So there is more control points and you can swiggle around better. So yeah, there is a lot of math-like stuff explaining the things, how it used to work and how it's gonna work. And if you want to explore it on your own, feel free to do it. And also, it's gonna work in vanilla and in the expansion. So yeah, everybody will get this update, even if you're not gonna pay $35 for it. And the next one is something huge, which is trains on another level. Here, you can do the elevated rails. So this blog post is explaining a feature that a lot of people was asking for, which was underground rails or up the ground belts. Trains, sorry. So yeah, they added the bridges to the factory expansion. Here is how it looks during the development, and there is how it's gonna look in the expansion. Yeah, it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. There is some story, how it looks like, how it's gonna use the support to support the rails above the ground. You can of course put the signals also above the ground. You can do new type of intersections to go above the existing ones. You can make out of spaghetti. Yeah, overall it's gonna add another level of complexity, which is great in my opinion, because look at this train station. So the input is on the ground, but the output is on the top. So we can make it more efficient than it used to be. Here, let's look what is this about. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but you can look at it. Yeah, you can do out of spaghetti. It's also work with planning, so you can do spaghetti above your base. And yeah, this you can read about the rails in this blog post. In the conclusion, it took a lot of work. Like here, the graphics took about 9 months to make. So yeah, it was tough task, because I don't know if you know how textures work in Factorio. So in Factorio, you're making 3D art in Blender, and then you are converting it to 2D sprites. And the problem with those trains is you have to render it from like every single side. There is a lot of edge cases, how they go. Like when you look at this displays, you have to consider where the train go, how to render all of that textures. So this is why it took a lot of time to make it. And yeah, that's all about this blog post. Let's go to another one. And another one is on this side. So let's open it. And here is the abstract rewire. You can read the title because I cannot. So here's the title of this blog post. And let's quickly look what is about it. Connecting ghost, limits, circuits. Okay, so let's start from the top. So they explain how the cables was connected since 2013, how there was the changes that during the that you can place a ghost and connect the ghost to the existing power pole. There was some problems with that. Some ghost was not working correctly, and there was a lot of spaghetti going on with the wire connections. And there was wire connections, special ghost connections, connection between other ghosts, and yeah, there was a lot of edge cases, so they need to come up with a solution to all of that. There was a limit of 5 connection to the every single power pole, and I don't know if they changed that. Yeah, it seems like they changed the logic. Now there is no limit of the amount of connections you can do to each power pole. Overall, it's like a very technical thing, and some stuff how it was working, like from the game code. So BossKit, I think it was BossKit, let me see. Yeah, the BossKit, the programmer do a little bit of changes to the rewiring, and he also improved the circuit logic on the way. And for example, in Factorio 2.0, you can do this. If you have a power pole with a different circuit cables, you can drag and build different power poles already connected. When you remove the power poles, they are being reconnected automatically with already existing circuit logic. They also change how the cables are connected to make the view cleaner. Yeah, also they fixed the ghost, I mean the shadows. You can see how it used to look and how it's gonna look. So the cables used to be very floppy and now they'll be more straight. Here is also the example. And they are also going to remove all of the abstract items, because you had to craft the red cable to build the red cable, and now they are removing all of that. So instead, you can just use them directly from your inventory. The same works for the Spytron, remote control, artillery, and yeah, all of that thing. And they are also changing the shortcut bar that can be now up to 12 slots wide. Interesting. So yeah, this is about the reprogramming the logic for the cables. It used to be written very long time ago, and it got cleaned up, fixed, optimized, and now it should be better. They also added some quality of life features like this one, and there will be more about the quality of life for the circuits later. And also they removed the abstract items. So yeah, that was this blog post. So now let's go to remote view. If you have played the space exploration, you know how useful is the remote view. So they did the same for the Factorio core. Now you can do way more stuff from the remote view. You can, for example, open the chest. You can remove the items from the chest. You can make ghost items from the map view. You can rotate the belts. Shouldn't this be a GIF? Let me refresh that. Yeah, it should be a GIF. So you can, for example, add the modules from the map view. You can... Okay, this is a photo. So you can also rotate the belts from the map view. Here, let's wait for it to see what's going on. Okay, we are in the map view, and from the map view, you can rotate the belts. You can rotate the splitters, make the changes. Like here, this is like the old way of rotating the belts. You are making the request for a bot to rotate the belt, which is bad, because you have to wait for the bot to fly here. Nobody have time for that. So instead they are changing it, and you can do that change from the map view. This map view will also work in the vanilla, so yeah, everybody will get the benefits of it. You can also edit the blueprints. The blueprints also will get tons of upgrades. You can, for example, from the map view build the building, and you can set the recipe. The way how you can set the recipe right now is you have to make a blueprint of the recipe and paste that blueprint over the ghost, which is like kind of abusing the system. So instead they are just adding this to the core game. Yeah, you can simply add the recipe. It also works for the equipment. You can equip the ghost Spytrons with some stuff. They are also adding the option to make the tiles on the builds you are doing. So if you are building anything on the water, you can just build it on the water, and the game automatically put the stuff under it. You can also make a blueprint on tiles that gonna be built, which is huge if you've ever built anything on water. Because right now you have to first build a landfill, wait for it for being built, and then you can build the stuff. But in the expansion, and also in the vanilla after the expansion, you can build directly on the landfill, even if it's just a ghost. Deconstruction, you can deconstruct from the map view, and you have the space map. Yeah, you can look at different map from the space view. You have some information about each planet, like how good is the solar there, what is the day-night cycle, what resources and what enemies can you expect on each planet. And here is the view of that new map view with the planets. They also changed the shader of the ghost. Like you can see, they are like very blue, and they are like easier to see what will be built. Like there are 3 tiers of assemblers, and now it's easier to see what kind of assembler you're gonna build. They are talking how they are changing that, how it used to look and how it's gonna look. So there is the old way, and here there is like a spaghetti. You don't even know what is going on here. And in Factorio 2.0, you can clearly see that there is the refinery, the belts, the pipes, and all of that stuff connected together. They are talking about the optimization, how it's gonna work on your PC, and also one more thing. You can see blueprints that are being built and that are just planning to be built. Like when you just place the blueprint, it has this color, and when the bot is flying to build it, it's changing the color. So you can easily see what materials are you missing and what are you building. And yeah, that's a lot of quality of life for the remote view. And the next post is talking about the space platform. So this is more about the expansion, not about the vanilla. So here is the example of a rocket silo launching the stuff to the space. And in this case, it's launching the platform starter, which is used to start a new surface in space on which you can build your spaceship. And this is how your spaceship looks like in the very beginning. It's just a space hub with some inventory slots inside, and it's allowing you to build the spaceship. Here is the view. Also, there is an old view without the animation. You will see how it looks in a newer blog post. And they are also explaining how to get things to the space. So now the rocket silos will get the logistic requester. So the rocket silo will be able to request the items for their own. Also, when you are in the space, you can harvest the asteroids and use those to produce the fuel, produce the ammunition, and perform some tasks. And by doing that, you have to use the crushers. So you are getting the asteroids, you are crushing those, and you get the materials. So there are 3 different asteroids. One is giving you iron, second is giving you some carbon, and the third one is giving you ice. And with those materials, you can craft some other stuff. Also, the thing in space is you might have too much resources. Like if you are harvesting all of those asteroids, you might need a lot of ice, but you don't need this amount of iron. So in that case, you should throw away the iron to keep your spaceship clean, because there is not much space to deal with all of that in the storage. Okay, let's see. Here they are explaining that you have to build a space platform which will do research for you. Like they're showing how it works. So in normal Factorio, just send the satellite and you have the space science. In the Factorio Space Age, instead of sending the satellite to the space, you have to craft the space science in space and then send it back to the Earth, to the Nauvis. So here is a quick view how it's gonna work, and here you can see that they are crafting it, and it requires the uranium. So you either get the uranium from some asteroids, or you have to put uranium into the space and then use it for crafting. Here they are making the fuel. You need 2 types of fuel to fly. It works the same in the real life. You have the fuel and you have the oxidizer. Like you have something which is burning and something which support the oxygen to that burning. So yeah, I think it's a nice added complexity to deal with those 2 fluids. Also, the asteroids is a threat, so you have to destroy those, otherwise they can destroy your spaceship. And the easiest way to do it is by going with the gun turrets. Also, the thing, you cannot have holes in your spaceship, so you cannot maximize the space in a simple way. You have to make pretty good spaceship to use all of that space. Like, you thought that you can remove this tile here to make the spaceship lighter and make it fly faster, but no, that's not a possibility. So you have to design your spaceships pretty good. And here is about the power production. You can use the nuclear reactor in the space, make the water out of the ice, and yeah, make the electricity, or go with the solars. And also there is some information about the quality, like the better furnaces are going faster, the better gun turrets have bigger range. So it will be very important to put your top quality machines to your spaceship, because by doing that you can optimize like your spaceship. Because by doing that, you can optimize your spaceship to be like better, because it's very expensive to send items to your space platform. So it's way better to send only the top quality materials. Yeah, and here's the example of the spaceship. I bet that Wacław is a developer, graphic designer, I think, in the Whoop software. And most of the buildings from the post and from the trailers and everything are probably built by him. He's like a pretty good player. Let's see the process. Oh yeah, this is the nickname of Wacław. Yeah, he did a lot of the balancing passes, and they was considering how to make the process of sending the items to the platform the best. But long story short, you have to send a rocket to put items on the your spaceship. And yeah, that's all for this blog post. Let's go to another one. Another blog post is about the logistic groups. So let's open that up. And here you can look at the nice animation. So those blog posts are in like a chronicle order. So when I showed you before how you can build instantly everything, they upgraded it since that blog post to add this nice animation. But this blog post is not about the animation for the space platform. It's about something different. Yeah, but this is more cancelling and more stuff about that. Something about blue science, guns, cargo expansion, not holes. Yeah, if you want, you can read that. This is about people being angry about something being wrong and so on. Also, there is an important thing here. The rocket in the space age will be 20 times easier to make, or maybe even more, because you are not going to use the rocket control units. You will use the processing circuits, which are the blue circuits in Factorio, so it will be way easier to send the rockets. Yeah, and this is about the space platform, but this blog post is about, rocket capacity? It's still about that. Okay, so those two things are related. Rocket capacity and the logistic request. So in Factorio 2.0, you can make the logistic request with groups. So you can make a group of, for example, inserters, and you can put tons of different type of inserters, and you can reuse this group in a different places. But here is also about the capacity, that there is a limit of 1 ton of goods, and yeah, different items have different weight, and yeah, you have to fill up the rocket and some stuff about that. You can fill the rocket manually or go with automatic requests from the network. Let's see. A player can also go to the space. You just have to go into a rocket. And here's the logic, how it's going to work to transfer items between the planets. So on planet A, for example, Nauwitz, you are sending the rocket to your spaceship. This spaceship is flying to an orbit of different planet. Here is the electric planet, and from this spaceship you are dropping the items to the cargo landing pad. And if you want to take the items from this planet, you have to send the rocket, go to the spaceship, and go all the way around. And here is about the logistic groups I told you before. So here it's how it looks like, and this is very powerful because you can reuse those groups everywhere. You can make a logistic group for the Spytron and put this to the Spytron. You can make a logistic group for the requester chest and put that logistic group to all of the requesters. You can share it with your friends on the server. You can save it to everything, and yeah, this is a huge change, and I can't wait to play with it. Also, you can turn off the trash requesting. So if you want to craft something with rocks or iron ore, you can just turn it off and have it in your inventory. When it comes to some examples of the requester groups, I think good example would be trash. So you make a requester group for everything that is not necessary for you. So for example, wood, rough ores, low tier ammunition, and you set the limit of it to 0. So this way, you will always trust those items, and bots will take them from you. So your inventory will be cleaner. Trash unrequested, yes. And the small bonus on top. You can use those logics inside arithmetic combinators. So by changing one group, you are changing the combinators everywhere you build those. So you don't need to use yourself. You don't need to walk anywhere to set up the different circuit logic. You can just change the group and it's gonna work. And yeah, they are talking about that you can use the groups in the constant combinators, and for example make the war resupply very easier. So you can make the orders with a trains from a different side of your factory without moving yourself, thanks to the logistic groups. So this is a huge change, and it's gonna help you, and it's gonna work in the vanilla and in the expansion. So this group will work. Yeah, you don't need the DLC to make it work, which is a huge plus. And yeah, that's all about this blog post. So another one, super force building. Okay, so in this blog post we're looking at the changes to the graphics. Now like you can see, they have the animation for building the space platform, which is looking pretty dope. Let's go through that animation. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Also, there's a huge feature that is being added, which is a super force building. So if you cannot build a blueprint on something, you can just super force build that, which works on water, works on space, and also it works on your buildings. So if you, on this example, you want to put rail tracks through your solar field, you can just do it without any problem with the force building. Here is other example. You can just build walls like this. And here, this is also a huge change, huge quality of life upgrade. This is how it used to work in the old version of Factorio. You have to remove the parts of the belts and make the underground out of work. So they changed that, and now you can build them like this, and the undergrounds will be rebuilt automatically. Yeah, pretty cool. Also, it works for pipes, it works for other belts, it works for lamps, it works for everything. You can also remove landfill, which is a huge change, because you used to have a huge problem if you messed up just one placement of landfill. It was especially annoying when you was building nuclear power plant on water, because yeah, one tile off and everything is broke. You can also force place the pump. So yeah, this is the whole blog post is about this force building, which is a huge upgrade to the quality of life. So let's go with another one, and another one is Combinators 2.0. So here is more information about the circuit logic and how it's being more noob friendly. So there is the example of GUI, how it used to work and how it's working in a newer version of Factorio. So here is the example of the train station. So on the left, the stuff just pop up from the thin air, and in 2.0, everything is being like easily trackable. You can see what will happen before you check the settings. You can also see how many items you have in the circuit logic from this GUI. So it's way easier to find out if everything is correct or if something is not connected. Like if you want to see how much coal you have, you can just connect your circuit logic to the pump, and you see from the pump how much coal you have. And also they are adding new combinator. No, this is for the old combinator. They changed the GUI for the decider combinator. Now you can do more stuff, different stuff. I don't know, I'm not too much into the circuit logic, so I cannot explain you correctly what is going on. But basically, the new GUI is way more friendly, you see more stuff, and it's easier to deal with. You can also add the description, which is like a comments in your code. Arithmetic combinator also got some GUI upgrade, and they added a new combinator, which is a selector combinator, which is adding, I don't know what. It's like selecting the indexes, adding the random input, reading the stack size, and yeah, you can read the stuff what it's adding here, but I don't know. I have to play with it in the game to tell you what it's about. For now, I can just tell you it's new and it's supposed to be very useful, whatever it is. So yeah, this post is about the quality of life for the combinators. So let's go with another one, and this one is about the asteroid collector. So we are here about the story, how they come up with the way to collect the asteroids. There was a different approach to it. You could just hook them with a hook. You can just take them with a light, go with some hand, with a different hand, make like a scoop, And yeah, there was different way they could do it, but at the end they come like with a paddle design. Like they have a hand that is moving like this one, which is pretty cool because there are multiple hands going out of the machine, which is looking very cool. Here is like the early iteration with a lot of placeholders, how it's used to look like. Yeah, there is the hand going out of the catcher and then it's catching the asteroids. There is some math behind it. There were some bugs with how they was catching the asteroids. They had to tweak a lot of data behind it to make it moving better and so on. So they come up with a tool that is allowing them to change it on the fly. More math about how the segments is working together, and also some path finding for those asteroid catchers. Because here it's wiggling around catching those asteroids, so it was important to have a correct map how the hand can go around the ship. They also have the prediction where the asteroids will be soon, so it's helping with the optimization. And yeah, this is the story how they was working on the asteroid catchers. So now let's go with another blog post, and the another blog post is about the Vulcanus, which is the first planet we got any info about. This is how it looks like you can deduct from the name, Vulcanus is somehow related to Vulcan, so there is a lot of magma on the planet. There are some videos about it, but I don't know how well they gonna load on my internet, so I just gonna launch them. Okay, so they gonna load over time, and this whole blog post is about this planet. So let's launch this video. So there is a tank running around this planet. There is some sulfuric area in which you can mine sulfuric stuff. There is also some magma. You can also mine the magma to convert this to resources. More running around. This looks like some resource, but I'm not sure. And yeah, this is a whole video showcasing the planet. There is another video. Also, there is no sound in it, so I guess I have to talk over the game. So there is just the tank going around. There is coal or maybe carbon on the ground, and you can just see how the planet is looking. There is another video, so let's launch it. You will need to put a lot of spaghetti to go around all of this magma. Is there anything more in this video? Okay, I think I broke it. Oh no, it's running. Yeah, so this is just going around the magma and nothing else. That's all. They talking about the design of the planet, about how you get the resources, what you can find here, why it's different from the Nauvis, what materials you can get there. You can find there coal, sulfuric acid, calcite, and tungsten to mine. So it's a different resources than you can find on Nauvis. There are also different biomes, like there is the starting mountain, the starting lava basin, the starting asphalt, and yeah, here you can mine the, not the uranium, the sulfuric acid. So yeah, there is the biome generated. Here they are showing the tiles, how the map gonna looks like. Everything is of course burned down because it's like a magma planet, so there is a lot of rocks, magma, lava and ashes. So there is more pictures of how the map gonna looks like. There are also custom cliffs for each planet. There are also holes from the asteroids, the sulfuric acid terrains, some more terrains, some new rocks. Like, how do you like those rocks? Looks nice to me. Calcium deposits, and yeah, this is the map you can explore in the space age. This is all on this post. Let's go to another one. And the another post is explaining you swimming in lava, which is explaining you not the view of the Vulcanus, but it's explaining you how it works. So in Vulcanus, you have different recipes and you have to go with a different approach. You cannot just mine the resources like you are doing on Nauvis. You have to process them in a different way. And to do it, you have to use the foundry. Foundry is like a big industrial smelter that is taking lava and making you copper, iron, and also other minerals. I mean, on this planet, you can harvest calcium, tungsten, and magma. And with those materials, you can make other materials in this planet-specific crafting machine. Every different planet has a different specific crafting machine. So here is some video. Oh, there is the sound, so I'm gonna be quiet. So yeah, the animation looks very cool. I'm gonna make it quiet. So the animation looks cool. Also, it's taking calcium as an input, also magma as an input, and it's outputting stone, iron or water. I think it's iron, and this looks like a copper. So you are using this machine to make Factorio basic materials from the planet basic materials. And every single planet has a kind of similar approach to don't make the gameplay of each planet too much repetitive. Also, each planet has a planet specific science packs. Like the Vulcanus has this one, and here is the use case of Foundry using the liquid iron and liquid copper to make the materials. And the best thing for those planet specific buildings is the productivity bonus. If you are making the gears in this machine, you get 50% productivity bonus. And what's more, you can put a lot of modules to those machines because they are huge and they have huge amount of modules slots. I don't remember how many, but 5, 6? I don't know. There was some screenshot with that. On this planet, you can also make the big mining drills, which are kind of broken because they are mining the resources at higher speed. They are using less resources to mine them, and they have better productivity. So after you go to this planet, you should transport this foundry machine and these drills to any other planet because you can use those to make more resources at a lower cost. Here is the video of a miner working, so I'm gonna turn it on, and yeah, it's working. Like you can see, it has a nice animation, and we can stop it and we can look here. So yeah, there is the size, the speed, the productivity, drain. Also, it works with the quality. So if you have higher quality of those drills, they are working way better. Here is the legendary quality big drill only drains the resources at 17 of the time. So to mine 100 iron ore, you only gonna take 17 ores from the resource. And also, you will make more than 100 iron ores because there is the productivity bonus. I think there is the productivity bonus, or it's only the drain bonus. Okay, so I'm not sure, but you can put the productivity modules to those drills, and in this way you will drain even more resources for the low price. Let's see here. You can mine the sulfuric acid directly from the planet. There is no uranium. There is no oil, but there is a lot of coal. So you have to coal liquefy stuff on Vulcanus. And they are adding a simple way to kickstart the coal liquefaction. Calcite is a new resource, and yeah. So the conclusion, they added a new planet. It has a unique mechanics. It has a different drills, different machines, different science pack. And the way you progress on this planet and also on all other planets is different from the Factorio core. You have to explore new mechanics in a new way. And yeah, this is all with this blog post. So let's go to another one. And the another one is about the quality of life. Okay, so there is another blog post, and this one is about the quality of stuff for the Factorio 2.0. So here, what is here? It's about the tick rate, isn't it? Let's see. Nope. Let's see. Okay, so here they are explaining that they are changing the math. The math, if you want to make some mods, this might be useful for you because they are changing the amount of bits being used for the ticks and that stuff. There are also some changes to the way you recover the corpse. You can also use the smart number format. So if you want to set the limit to 1 million, you can just set 1 million and you got the answer. You can set it to 1 million divided by 7, and this way you have the output. You can put it to 15k and you have the 15k. So there are some simple math which can be very useful. It's like a small quality of life feature. There is also the max range indicator, so now you know when is the limit of underground pipe and underground belt. Also there is some pistol lying on the ground. Nice. Here is the example of how it looks like. So normally it's yellow, but at the max distance it's green, which will help you decide when to place it. They're also changing the way how you can put the charts on the map, so you can mark your factory in an easier way. They're also sorting the save file by the time when you last time played it. There are also some jokes on the names, or no, I don't see any jokes. But you can sort by the last time modified. There are also changes to the lamps, which is pretty nice because now you can make more colors. Also, the colors of robots on the map looks different, and there is a smarter way to use the construction planner with a force building. Yeah, you cannot mark the cliffs to being deconstruct if you haven't unlocked the cliff explosives. And this is all about this blog post. It's just a lot of small quality of life upgrades that gonna improve your life. And for the next thing, we have to go to a different page and go from the very bottom, which is train control improvements. And this thing, this is huge. Let me go here, because now you can make the interruption. Like, do you understand how broken this feature is? Instead of making the fuel request on your every single station, you can just make one fuel station. You can make the interruption for like pickup players. You can make interaction. Okay, I don't know what else you can do, but it's definitely useful to make the interruption for fuel. But this is only like a small part of the improvements, because you can also change the way of the train behaviors based on the cargo they have. So if they have cargo with iron, you can send them to an iron smelting facility. If they have cargo with copper, you can send them to the copper smelting facility. So you can have the same train for iron, copper, and stone, and everything else. And based on the interruption, it can go to a different station. This is huge. This is one of the biggest quality of life upgrade in the vanilla. So yeah, if you don't know why it's so broken, you will see. I will make a lot of guides about it. Also, the depot problem. The destination is full. Yeah, you can make the station. Like if all of the destinations are full, you can send those trains to a like waiting station. So you can have like 100 trains in your depot, and they will be automatically assigned to a new task when you make another like mining outpost. So you can automate so much stuff with this new feature. Interruption, yeah, reservation upgrade, reservation limit, train groups. So like they added a group for your requesters, they also added a train group. So you can make a one group, for example, to long trains or short trains. So you have a long train with like 2 locomotives and 10 wagons, and you can make a group for those to go only to or outpost far away from your base, because they are long, they are slow, and you don't want them to clock your own base. And you can make them in a one group. You can also use the short trains inside your core base, which will be very fast, and they can have a different logic. And you can make the same logic for all of those trains in the group. Huge upgrade. You also have the train overview. You can use the colors from the destination station. Pretty nice. Yeah, like you can see, it's changing the color. Let's see it again. Yeah, it's changing to a copper color because it's going to a copper station. And this black train is also changing the color. Yeah, it's changed the color and it's going to a station. Conclusion, it's broken and everybody gonna love it. So yeah, let's go with another blog post. And this one is noise expression. So here, we're gonna talk about how the map is being generated. So if you played any game, you probably know what is a seed. Seed is like a basic value from which you are generating everything else. Here is how the seed looks like. It's just a few numbers, and based on those numbers, you're making this spaghetti mess of black and white. You're making this map of black and white parallel noise, and based on this noise, you are making the maps. So here is the example of this noise making random points, and those points are being turned into resources. So there is copper, coal, stone, and all of that is being based on that noise. And it works basically the same in every single game. I mean, the same. It's the core concept is the same, but the way how it works is way different. So for example, in Minecraft or in Terraria, you have like a generation of a world, and then you are putting some custom built structures on that. But placement of those structures is also a different peril noise. So like in this example, you have a peril noise to make the land, and then you have a different peril noise to make ores. You have a different peril noise to generate biters and all of that. So there is like a ton of different layers building a different aspect of the game. So yeah, here is how it works in Factorio. Like you have a peril noise for fish, trees, terrains, cliffs, ores, biters, and you have a different peril noise for X and U axis. And yeah, there is a lot of math when it comes to that. They are talking how it's working, how it's making the biomes, what you can make with it, how it works from the programmer point of view. There is some different Factorio news. Let's see what it's about. Yeah, if you want to go more in depth of how it's all being generated, you can look at this very old Factorio post. But let's look at this one. Yeah, there is putting together all of those noises to make mountain, minus mountain, to make the connection with them. And there are some tools of how it looks like. All of this is like a different layers of different noises. Yeah, there is a lot of math involved. There are the possible spots for the cliffs, but they don't need to be generated at that spot. There is there's like a lot of math stuff. If you are like nerd like me, you can just go in depth and read all of that by yourself. But I'll go quickly through all of that stuff because let's zoom in. If you are not too much into programming, this makes no sense to you. This is like listening to my English. It's not making any sense. So there is some stuff, optimization, result. Oh, there is something that everybody can understand. So now to make one chunk, it used to be 18 milliseconds. Millisecond, 1000 milliseconds. Is in 1 second. So it was taking 18 of 1000 of a second. And now it's being less than 3 seconds. So they got a lot of improvements when it comes to the map generation. And here is the end of the year. And also this is looking to me like the last planet. Like the last planet is frozen planet. So this photo is also frozen. So yeah, this is what we can expect on the frozen planet. And yeah, this is a lot of math nerd stuff, so read it on your own. And here is the recap post about Factorio and what happened in 2023. There is some stuff about the mods, how many there was a new release, what was the most popular category. There was also the changes to the mod loading, how the dependencies work, of installing the mods. They improved the mod search, and yeah, I think there is also some interesting data for the game. No, only for the mods. So since this is not about the expansion, I'm gonna just skip it. So yeah. And let's go with the parametrized blueprint. So this is like a very niche thing, and you don't need to use it, but a lot of like advanced Factorio player will love it because now you can customize your blueprints. This is like the way it used to be, or it is currently. If you want to customize the station, you have to do everything by hand. So here is the example. So the Kovarex is the guy who made the Factorio, like he's the CEO, and he's like paranoid when it comes to unloading the trains. So every time he's making the unloading station, he's making sure that he's using the filter inserters to only unload the necessary stuff. And because of that, he changed the way how you store the blueprints. So now you can customize the blueprints. So here's the simple example of the constant combinators. So in constant combinators, you can set up some custom stuff, and then when you blueprint that, you can change those inside the blueprints. I know it sounds complicated and hard, but stick with me. There are different parameters. Here is some example, and there is the example of the blueprint. Is the items, the wanted items number 1, wanted item number 2, the wanted count, and the control signal. So, okay, this still not makes much sense. So let's come back to these examples. So in new Factorio, you'll be able to make the blueprint that when you are pasting it, it's gonna ask you if you want to unload stone or you want to unload fish, what should be the name of the station, and you can customize it, all of this, while placing the blueprint. I mean, first you have to make a special blueprint, but when you do it, you'll get more flexibility with that blueprint. Let's see if there is some example. Let's look at this dude. Yeah, there is the example of what I was talking about. So you can set up the recipe 1, recipe 2, changing the recipe of the blueprints, and you can also change the circuit logic in these constant combinators. And now when you want to build another building, it's gonna ask you again. So you can make like a universal building to craft, for example, the power armor, and you can ask only for the power armor, and when you make a good blueprint, you can make like the automatic production of the all previous steps, because you can now link the circuit logic to the assemblers, and you can set the recipes, and it will be huge. It will be huge for the advanced Factorio players, because they will make the blueprint, and it will also be huge for the Factorio noobs, because when they gonna copy the blueprints from the internet, from like my videos, my tutorials, or other tutorials, they will use it. So even if they're not gonna build it, they're gonna use all of that blueprints. So here's the example of that train station. It's asking the player of what should be the request for station A and station B, and the logic is already set up. It's also changing the destination and changing the filters. So yeah, it's huge. More stuff, how it's working, more dependencies, and yeah, all of that stuff. So if you want, you can read more of it on your own. Also, this will be for the vanilla and for the expansion. So another post is about putting things on top of another things. So Factorio belts will be more powerful because you can stack them like this. You can put items in bulk, so they're working like this. And when you're taking those items, you're just taking few items from the bulk. They're also changing the way that stack inserters and bulk inserters works. So they are changing the names. This is now the bulk inserter, and this is the stack inserter, or it's other way around, I forgot. But the way it works, now you can stock multiple items on a single belt spot. So you basically turning one belt into like 4 belt capacity. So the base on the belts will be way more powerful than they used to be. Yeah, there is more gifs of how it works. It's also important because with a quality, with a changes to new, better, faster machines, you need to operate on a bigger quantity of items. So yeah, everything will be bigger and better in the late game. Also, the big miners is making the stack mining. They are also removing the filter inserters. They are gone because you can use the filters in every single inserter. So you can even put the filter on a burner inserter. So yeah, that's a nice change. And they also gonna talk about new belts. So the problem they had with a faster belt was the items was looking like this. This is like a mess. It looks ugly and it's hard to see if anything is moving. And that was the reason why they didn't want to add a new belt. But they added it. And they also improved the amount of items you can put on the belts. So now the late game base can be very, very efficient. And there is some of the conclusion. So the conclusion is the belts are better, the bots are worse, and you can build better belt base factory. And this is all for this blog post. Let's go for another one, which is assembler, flipping, and circuit control. So this is something I mentioned to you before, that you can connect the assembling machines to the circuit logic, and you can set the recipe. You can read the ingredients, enable, disable. You can do so much stuff. You can automate so much things in a way smarter way. Like the circuit logic is going to be so much better now that it will be huge. It will be simply huge. Here is the example. So there is the machine that is crafting the quality inserters, and it's automatically changing the different ingredients. So now you can build a mall that is crafting based on the demand. So you can have like 100 assemblers, and they only gonna craft items that you need. There will be no idle assemblers. They will be always working for the stuff that you need the most. So this is also a huge change. And a different quality of life thing is this one. Now you can flip everything, including the refineries. So it used to work in a way that your refinery had fixed inputs and outputs. Now you can change it to make better designs. So there is the example, like you have the oil from the same side and also steam from the same side. So you can make way more compressed refineries. And this is from the space age, and it's getting tons of inputs. So with new change to the core of Factorio, you will be able to easily switch the inputs. So it also gonna work for the mods, vanilla, and for the expansion. So this is a huge change, huge quality of life upgrade, but not as huge as this one. This is huge. The same with the trains. And there is some more photos and also some information about the stack contra bulk inserters. Yeah, they are changing the names, so we will need to get used to how they are being named. And yeah, this is all about this blog post. Let's go to another one, which is generic interruption and train stop priority. So there is even more information about the interruptions. I already mentioned a different blog post when they was explaining that, but here you can be more in depth of what they are talking about and more info. And yeah, you have more like circuit specific logic, like any items, and I guess more. There is only the example of the any item. If you have X item, go to X drop off, so you can make more better logic for the trains. Personal battery drop off. You can do more of the if cases, else cases, and yeah, circuit logic is getting better. You're also getting better alerts. It's also easier train dispatching, so the train will get better logic. Let's look at that. So now you can set the blueprint with the automatic train output. So the way it works right now in the Factorio, when you are making a blueprint, the train is being manual and you have to change it by hand to automatic. In Factorio 2.0, you can make a blueprint with automatic trains and they will pick up the task based on their logic they have inside. Also, you can change the train sub priority. So if you want to prioritize the mall, you can put the priority to like 100. If you want to prioritize the production of ammunition to survive, you can also put a high priority. But if you don't want to prioritize the science, because those two examples are more important, you can lower the priority. And yeah, you can also make different smelting stations. Like you can have smelting station outside of your base, so it will reduce the traffic inside of your base. Many new possibilities. If you want, you can use it. If no, don't use it. It's like a good feature because it's not changing anything if you're not gonna use it. So there are new icons for the trains. So now it's not just no path. You will get some new, better informations. Also, now when I'm reading this, the train with player inside will get the higher priority. So now riding your trains will be way smoother because you don't need to wait on a traffic. It's like you're a police car going through traffic. You just go through it without any problems because other trains will wait for you. So this is like more in depth about the logic of a train. And now let's go to sounds improvement. So in this blog post, they changed the way how the sound is working. So let's listen to this one. Okay, and also let's listen to this one. So what you are looking at is a different layers of a sound. Let's go again. Let's make it quieter. So there is like the basic sound of the machine. There is a sound of like this part moving. There is a sound for this part moving, and there is a lot of layers which making the whole sound of the game. And every machine, every enemy, everything has those layers. So here's example, very loud. And there's the example how it works in a fast foundry and a slow foundry. Yeah, so there are definitely different sounds based on the speed of the machines. There is also a different sounds for the cars based on the terrain you are driving on. It's like a very small change, but when you add a lot of those simple, small quality of lives, if you add a lot of those simple, like one particle improvement everywhere, then after a few years, the game will get better, better, better. And you don't even realize some of this stuff, like the layers of sound, like the stuff you're working on has a very small different, but you can feel that. And when you sum up all of this, it makes games simply way better. And the Factorio is in that stage when they add so much quality of life, so much upgrades, so much optimization that the game is called Factorio for that exactly reason. There's so many little changes that is building a huge change that making the feel of the game great. So here is the train. Let's listen to that. My internet cannot work with that. I have too bad internet. So let's wait for it to load and go again. Yeah, so there are different sounds based on the where the train is, where are the tracks. There are some additional sounds for the machines. Yeah, overall, more better sounds, sounds of the trees, sounds of the water. Like this is something you don't listen to this is something you don't think about, but you feel it. Yeah, pretty nice. They also improved the sound overall of the factory. Let's listen to that. Yeah, so now every single item, when you pick it up, making some sound. You also hear the background of the factory. When he opened the assembling machine, it got quieter. Let's listen again. Yeah, because you are more focused about the inside of the assembling machine, so the ambience noise is being like quiet. Let's see, is there anything more? Nope. So yeah, advanced volume control. So you have more settings, aggregation, sound priority, test suite, music, and there's also a lot of new music. So we'll listen to those later. But this is overall about how they changed the math behind the sounds, how they added new sounds, and how it's gonna make the feel of the game way better. So yeah, this is all what this post was about. And now let's go to the Factoriopedia. I don't know if you've ever played modded Minecraft, but if you do, you probably know the mod FNAE. Let's open it. Oh wait, this is FNAE in Factorio. Okay, I thought this is gonna be the link to the Minecraft version. Recipe book? No, it's also for Factorio. Okay, so bad example. But in Minecraft, you have the access in modded Minecraft to like the list of all of the recipes, how they work in every single machines. So you don't have to go to Wiki when you are playing modded Minecraft. You just have everything inside the game. And the Factorio devs wanted to do the same for the Factorio. So now you have the Factoriopedia. In Factoriopedia, you can check out every single item, every single recipe, every single planet, and all of that. You can also see what the quality is adding to the item, what is the health, crafting speed, pollution production, what type of fuel the machine is accepting, what research do you need to unlock it, what can you craft in it, some stats for the planets, information, alternative recipes, the quality I was talking about, and all of this stuff. And the access to it is extremely simple. You're just holding the Alt and you click on the item and you have the whole information about it. Everything what you need. You don't need to Google anything. You don't need to go to my channel to look at the tutorials. I mean, you should, but you don't have to. You can just find everything from inside the game. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say about this blog post. It's just the Factoriopedia. Everything what you need is inside the game. So now let's go to Fulgora. Fulgora is another planet. Okay, I'm gonna start by launching those videos. So they're gonna load on my internet. Let's click all of that. So Fulgora is like the electroplanet. On this planet, you are harvesting trash and you are changing it to items. The way you are getting the electricity on this planet is by lightning. But this post is about how this planet looks like. So instead of talking about the mechanic, let's look at the videos. Also, if the video looks laggy, it's not because of me, it's because of the video is being laggy. Sorry for that. Yeah, so the guy just walking around. There are some weird trees. This is oil lake, and this is how this map looks like. There is another video. This is why I call this planet the electric planet, because you are harvesting the electricity from the lightning strike. And yeah, the guy is just running around. And to get cover, you have to build a special structure which will gonna protect you from the lightnings. Here is that structure. There is the oil. You are going slower on the oil, it makes sense. And more exploring of the planet. So this planet has a lot of ruins and trash. It's like there was the previous civilization and you just have to explore it, mine it, make unique science pack and so on. Let's see what is here. I wonder if they're gonna show us the trash that you can mine. What is this? Ah yeah, just some glass trash. I don't know what exactly. Yeah, old buildings that you can harvest for trash. Oh, and there is the resource that you have on this planet. This is the only resource you have. You have to mine it and recycle it to useful materials. Like here are the circuits, iron, and yeah, all of the materials. You can take those and turn them into anything else you want. So this is like the preview of how the planet looks like. But if you want to see what are the mechanics on this planet, we have to go to another post, which is Trash to Treasure. And here, this should be the animation. Oh yeah, this is the animation. So if you don't cover your buildings with that lightning absorbing building, it's gonna get destroyed. So you have to be careful with the lightning storms, and to prevent those, you have to cover the area with the lightning collectors. You have to also use those to produce the electricity. There are two types of those collectors, the small one and the bigger one. You can also put, make the better quality for a bigger coverage. Here is how the map looks like. So the map works in a way that you have the building islands and you have the trash islands. So here you can mine this trash and bring it to your islands. Here is the example of the factory being built. You have to use trains. So the thing is, you have to use trains. There's no other way on this planet. Because if you have trash on this planet, you have to harvest it, and you don't have enough space to convert it to useful materials. So the only way to play here is to harvest it, take it to the main planet, main island, and from that main island, process it to useful materials. Let's see, there is some feedback of what people think about this planet, ruins, how you can mine those, that you have to recycle those to make the basic materials, and then you can use those materials to craft. Here, let's zoom it out, too much. Here is all of the materials that you can produce from this scrap. So there is a small chance to make the processing units and low density structures. And this is huge because with processing units and low density structures, you can make rocket. You just need to make a little bit of light oil and you can make the rocket fuel. So on this planet, it's gonna be extremely easy to make rockets. You're also getting other resources. And if you, for example, want iron, you can take steel and turn it into iron. Or can you turn steel into iron? I don't know, but you can, like, I don't know if smelting is working, but you can definitely work for crafting. So you can use this red circuit to make green circuit, and you can use green circuit to make iron. So you can make every single material based on this scrap. Okay, there are some different fluids, like there is the oil, so you have to take this oil and convert that. And there is the special science pack, which is being used by holmium. So you have 1% of chance to make the holmium ore, and you are turning that holmium into this science pack. And there is also this thing. This is a planet-specific machine which you are using to make circuit-related stuff. And this machine is huge, like every single machine that you are getting on a new planet, because it has 2 speed, crafting speed, and 50% productivity modules. Again, it has speed of 2, built-in productivity bonus of 50%, 50%, and 5 module slots. So if you fill this machine with like quality modules, you can make a lot of quality stuff from it. And this planet also unlocks you the quality module tier 3, which you can use to craft more quality modules tier 3 into a better quality and make even better quality, and yeah, pretty good. The interesting thing is you can take this planet, this machine to Nauvis, and you can use it to craft modules on Nauvis with 50% productivity modules on crafting modules. So yeah, it's very important to explore new planets and take the machines from those planets to Nauvis and use, not only to Nauvis, also to other planets. Like here is the mining outpost. You can also use the bigger drills from Vulcanus to mine this scrap, and this way you are taking less scrap from the ground, you are making more. So it's good to use planet-specific buildings on other planets. And yeah, that's all. The conclusion is I hope you're gonna enjoy this planet, and yeah, good luck. So another blog post is about search and pin. Okay, so this blog post is like a quick info about the upgrades to the map view and overall GUI. So now you can Control F and find X material. So here is the map search. I'm gonna launch the video. You can literally search for the thing you want in your factory. So here is the laser. So you can look for the laser production from the map view. Let's see, they're gonna look for something else. Batteries. So you can find the production of the batteries, and also grouping you this production. So if you have a multiple production of batteries, you can find them in a different spot. This is pretty good for a multiplayer when you have a lot of players building spaghetti for different places. So now you can quickly find the production what you are looking for. You can also look for the map tags and the train stops. What's more, you can pin the location on the map. So you can, for example, pin the task to do, or you can pin the different bases, and you can simply click on it to teleport your map view to that pin stuff. What's more, they are also adding a different type of alerts. So now you are also getting alerts being grouped. So when you have, for example, two outposts and one outpost is being attacked and other outpost is being attacked, you are getting the information about it in a different group. So here is one construction area that is missing this amount of the entities, and there's a different one, and you also get a different groups for a different planets. So yeah, this is like a small quick post, but the Surge is like this little quality of life improvement that you are not thinking about it, but it's gonna be helpful when you will need that. So yeah, let's go for another one. And another one is the new planet. So let's look at that. New terrain, new planet. Oh wait, is it the Nauvis? Ah yeah, so this is not a new planet. This is the Nauvis. This is the main planet. This is the vanilla planet. And they are talking how they gonna change the mechanics on this planet. How it's being generated, how they have different approach to how everything looks like. So there is the example of old and new dunes. How they looks on the map. They are explaining a lot of math how stuff is being generated. Also here you can see my animation of how my internet is downloading this file. I guess it's pretty big, so we can zoom in. So to generate a map, there is like a lot of elements, a lot of decoration, trees, and this stuff that is not big. There's a lot of stuff that don't have direct impact on the game, like that grass, like this grass. It's making no difference for the gameplay, but it's making the world more alive. And here is the structure of how they are calculating what should be planted where. There's like the temperature, the moisture level, and yeah, that looks tough. This is like in 4D, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. So here are the examples of look, and this is like something impactful, because now this is getting updates to the cliffs. So instead of getting random cliffs in random places, now they have more order and there will be way to use those. So there are the old cliffs so there are the old cliffs in Factorio, and here are the new cliffs in Factorio attempt number 1. So there is, wait, isn't it? High cliffs to show the lines. I don't know which one is the current version of. Yeah, so let's skip that for the one for a while. So now this is getting changed the cliffs. This is what we can read in this blog post. And also here they are changing how the cliffs interact with the terrain. So here's the Fulgora, and the Fulgora has the oil lake. And the cliffs that going directly to the lake has a better view, looks cleaner, better, and yeah. Freeform cliffs. So they explain that they want to make cliffs useful, because right now the cliffs are just annoying thing that we don't care about. On the left is how the cliffs working right now. Like nobody cares about it. It's makes no point, and I hate those. And here is the new approach. So in this case, when you're playing with biters, you can just use those cliffs like a wall. So there is a use case for those, and they want to like use the cliffs and make them useful to the players. So there is the noise of how the cliffs are being generated. Yeah, the booking visualization. They also added lakes like in Minecraft, and there is also a river-like formation made out of the cliffs. They also changed how the islands are being made. So there is a different world generation approach. Pretty good. There is also how the water is being scaled with the game. Because, you know, when you are making a new game, you can set up the amount of water, amount of moist, amount of trees, and all of that stuff. And they are changing how it's tweaking the map generation mechanic. Here's the example with the minimum amount of water and the maximum amount of water. So the difference is pretty huge. And here, dead end. Okay, let's see. So this is a problem, because you have that dead end and there is like not much you can do with it, which is not perfect. Or is it? I forgot. I was reading this blog post a long time ago, but they was just doing a lot of stuff with the cliffs, a lot of stuff with the new map world generation. So if you want to breed more, you can do it. There is more about how it's being made from the noise. Yeah, there is some screenshot of how it's looking. There is also the screenshots of paths. This is another noise just is being implemented on top of the game. There is a lot of layers of those different noises, so this is why it's so complex to make a good word generation, which is not annoying, which is useful, and people like to play on it. Here is the finishing touch, the map at 100 scale, 50 scale, 25 scale. Okay, there is some other screenshot of the map, some trees. There are those walkways, so it's easier to go around the map. But yeah, the Factorio will look different in Factorio 2.0. I hope it's gonna look better, not worse, but we'll see. So yeah, if you want to read more in depth, just do it on your own. And we will go to another blog post, which is lightning speed circuits. So I have already talked about difference in circuit logic, how they was changing that and how it got upgraded. But there is even more about the circuit logic in this blog post, because now, I mean, when the Factorio 2.0 come out, you will be able to connect radars to the circuit logic. So if you have a multiple outpost, if you have a multiple bases, or you want to transfer the signal from one point to another point, you can just connect it to a radar and then use it on the outpost. They also improved the way how you can cut and paste the connected circuit elements. So here's the example. You can copy that and paste it here. And the cables are still connected. This is like a very small upgrade, but a very useful one. Here they are also talking about the problem that they used to deal with. In Factorio, it was working in a way that you can make one item per one tick, or multiple items per one tick. And there is 60 ticks in 1 second. So if you had a very optimized factory with mods and you wanted to make faster stuff and more stuff, it was problematic because you was limited by the game engine. This is why they reprogram the way how crafting works in Factorio. Like, can you imagine changing this from the code view? Like, this game is like 10 years, 15 years old, and the crafting was from the very, very beginning, from the very alpha version, and now they change it and upgraded it. And now you can make 4.3 crafts per tick or 10 crafts per tick. Like, they completely rewrite the code for crafting in Factorio, which gonna make mods better, expansion better, and everything better. I guess it's also be more optimized when it comes to the performance. If you want to read how they did it, you can do it here. And we are going to another blog post. And the next blog post is about the train stop 2.0. So let's go to this blog post, and here is another information about the train stops. So they are changing the GUI for the trains. They are changing how the train naming and train limits works. Or yeah, there was the problems that when you copy and paste the train station, you could end up with some problem with some stack of the trains. So they are adding like a little improvements to that. You can enable, disable, change names, and so on. You can also see the names of the trains from the map view. You can also see what trains are on the way to the train station, also from the map view. So this is another small quality of life upgrade that is pretty useful. You can copy and paste train stop names from the map view, so it's also upgrade. Apply changes. So now you have a groups of trains. So when you are making a change to a stop name, it will affect oh no, this is something different. So when you have like a copper drop station and you want to rename it to copper output or copper input, you can do it to all of the stations with the same name. So this is like updating the variable names when you are programming. So this is like another quick nice upgrade. Other thing is push of the locomotives. Now you can push locomotives from the map view without even being inside and without any fuel. So you can fix all of the train bottlenecks without even moving your character. This is huge, and it will make unlocking your trains being stuck, like in this case, pretty easy. Because right now, when you mess something up and one of your trains run out of the fuel, then your whole base is being stuck, and you have to bring the fuel to it and do it manually, and too much work. So now in Factorio 2.0, you'll be able to fix it quicker because you can either move the train from the map view, or you can just use your character to move it. So yeah, this is the example I was talking about. So you have the remote driving for trains. So when they are stuck, you can, from the map view, drive the train. You don't need to move anywhere. So that's nice. And the rail planner works in the map mode. Okay, so I thought that was already in the game, but seems like it's not. So you can plan the rails from the map view. So they are investing heavy into the quality of life upgrade to the map view. And I think it's good because when you are on a different planet and you want to change something, you can do it without going to the planet. So it's pretty good for the expansion, but it's also going to work in the vanilla. So it's like a upgrade for everybody, even so it's meant for the expansion. And yeah, that's all for this blog post. So let's go to another one. Frustration not found. So this blog post is another blog post about the quality of life features. They are changing how the control of the trains, control of the Spidertrons works. It's easier to group the Spidertrons, it's easier to move them around, and you don't need to craft the individual controls. It's just easier. They call it the RTS tool control. So yeah. And another thing is pipette all the things. So in Factorio 2.0, you can press Q on basically anything and it will give you the correct item. So you can place your mouse over the water and it will get you the water pump. You can place the mouse over the landfill and you get the landfill. Place it over the requested item and you will get it in the hand. Good upgrade, like another small change, but it adds up. Also, there is the easier way to adjust the blueprint grid. This was like a problem when you was doing the blueprints, because there was like no simple way to get the correct position. And the only way to do it was by typing random numbers in the grid position, which was pretty annoying and inefficient way to make the blueprints. This is why they come up with a solution. Now you can just press Shift and arrows to adjust the grid position, or Control and arrow keys to adjust the absolute grid offset. So yeah, another small feature that will improve the quality of life when it comes to Factorio. So another post is the whole belt reader and new Logistic GUI. Whole belt reader, this is huge and I'm gonna tell you why. So the old way of doing the belt reading was this one. It was ugly, inefficient, it was annoying to build, connect, and yeah, looking like this. This is why the developers come up with a better solution. So now you can read the content on the whole belt. It looks like this. You just connect it in a single spot and you get the information from the whole belt. What's more, it's also working on the undergrounds. So the items here in the undergrounds are also counted, which was not possible in the previous version of Factorio. So this is nice upgrade, and now you can make the sushi belt way better because it's easy to track how many items you have on that belt. They also changed how you're launching the rockets. So right now, when you're launching the rocket, there is the animation, you are sending the rocket, and you have to load up the next rocket. There is other animation, and you are sending the rockets. In Space Age, you can stack rockets, 2 rockets. One is ready, and you can already prepare the second rocket. And if you do that, there is no animation for opening and closing the rocket silo opening. So when you have design like this, when you are crafting the rockets extremely fast with the beacons, it's just faster. Nothing else to tell. A pump filter, like you can do the filters on every single inserter, you can also put the filter on the pumps. So yeah, like small thing but useful one. I mean, I don't see a use case for it, but probably there will be some use case. I mean, you can use it in like a spaghetti pipe design. I'm not saying that you should do this spaghetti pipe design like having one pipe with a multiple liquids, just switching what is at each time. This will be possible with the filters. Is it good or not? We'll see. Okay, and also they are changing the view of the Logistic GUI. This is pretty old GUI. They was doing some changes, but it was useless. Nobody was using that. This is why they are coming up with a better solution to being more useful. You can, for example, see what stuff you have in each network. You can also click around to see, yeah, so now there might be some use case for that. You can also have the logistic network for the character, for the Spidertrons. So yeah, let's see. And there is another iteration with the remote view. So they are investing very, very heavily into the map view. So in the late game, you literally don't need to use your character at all. Like the first change to that was the Spidertron, because you could use the Spidertron to build the stuff without moving. Now they are changing the map view, so yeah, there is no need to move your character anymore in the late game. And that's all about this blog post. Let's go to another one. And the another one is about the Space Age music. So in Factorio Space Age, they added tons of new music. They hired the professionals. Like 174 professionals were involved when it comes to the music creation. They hired some guy composing that, they hired some stuff doing that, and yeah. Here are some photos of how it was working. So there are the guys playing the music for the Factorio. Yeah, so I don't know what else I can show you, just the screenshots. Oh, I have the same headphones, so I guess they are good. Okay, composing all of that, some more screenshots. I guess they are thinking about something, more stuff, and yeah, that's the thing. So since I'm not too much into the music, I usually play without music, and I don't care about music at all. I'm not gonna tell you a lot about this blog post, but you can, for example, listen to this music. This is the music in space. There is also some spaceship. Let's look at the spaceship, because for me it's more interesting than the music. Yeah, this is the music from the trailer. Here is the Vulcanus music. Yeah, pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. And here is some Fulgora music. This is also from the Steam trailer, just the Spidertron walking. Also to other planets, there is the music. I guess this is for the planet with plants. What was the name of that planet? Bacchus? Gleba. Gleba, that was the name of that planet. You will hear about this soon. So here's the music. But wait, this is the other two planets. So one music should be for one planet and second one should be for another planet, but this sounds the same for me. Just 8 minutes of the same music. But yeah, I'm not used to listen to music. So they added 5 hours of soundtrack. That's a lot. And yeah, so there will be a lot of new good music in the game. But that's all for this blog post. Let's go for another one. With this is still about the music. So here, they changed the way how the music perform. Like we already discussed that when we was talking about the sound effect. They also changed that in the music, because now you have a multiple layers of music. Here is the view. So here is the how the music is being built. There is some intro to the music. Then you have some like transition, then you have those musics being connected together to some different music, and then it's making another music, and you copy that and paste it, and yeah, doing some stuff and doing more stuff and another layer. Yeah, so I don't care about the music, so I'm not gonna explain you a lot of this stuff because I haven't read that, because yeah, I don't like music, but I can launch you this. What can I say? It sounds like music. Still sounds like music. Music. Yeah, I guess it's a music. There is some more samples. So there is first sample, second, another one, so something more, something else, and transition, and changing the volume, and yeah. So yeah, technical challenges, applying layers, and questions. So about this blog post, I'm not gonna tell you about it because I don't care. That's what I think about the music. I'm sorry if you want to know more about music, if you want to listen to all of that, do it on your own because I don't understand it. I prefer the programming. Here is some transition between samples. Let's listen to that. Sounds like music. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not gonna spend more time on this because I don't care. Let's go to another blog post, which is statistic improvement Linux adventures. So in this post, they are explaining how they changed the GUI, how they change view of that, because there was a small problem. You have a different production of a different planet, and if you're producing a lot of science on one planet and zero on another planet, you don't know it. You just have the information that you are making science, which is problematic because sometimes you want the data only specific for a specific planet. This is why they did some improvements, changes, and so on. Here is the view. So you can change it based on the quality of the machines. So if you have a production of green circuits and you are using normal assemblers, but you build another factory which is building green circuits but using a high quality assemblers, you can separate and compare which factory is producing more green circuits. Or you can change it to combine them and you'll just see the total production of the green circuits. So you can sort it based on quality. You can also sort it based on the planets. So here's the novice production, and you also have a new way of displaying the science, consumption, and production. You just have the science thing representing all of the science. Yeah, per surface production. So on each surface, you have a different production. You can change it to global. You can change it to quality. Anything what you need. This is on Vulcanus, on global production, quality. I already told you how it works like. Yes. Some stuff about the Linux. I don't remember what it was about. So the thing is, it's hard to develop the game on a multiple platforms. This is why, also because Factorio is not being made in like Unity, Godot or Unreal. It's using a custom built engine in C++, and they just using the simple library which helps them render stuff. But basically everything in Factorio is being built from scratch in C++, which allows them to be more efficient when it comes to the performance of the game, but it's taking them way more time to implement any new features. This is why this expansion that should take 1 year to build, they are making a multiple years. Even so, they hired a lot of new people. And here they are talking about how hard it is to display different stuff on different machines and how to implement it, and yeah, that thing. And there is the example of how the GUI looks like in Linux. So they changed the way how they render it, and the quality, yeah, the quality is different. You can see that this one is way better than the left side. There was also a problem with client side. Wait, is it? Oh, this video, I think. Yeah. So there was this problem with the video rendering, also with my internet. So let's start from start. So when you was playing around with the Factorio, you had this problem when you was playing on Linux. So they fixed that. They also fixed something with the files display, I think. They also changed the way how the libraries are being linked to the game. Some nerd stuff, clipboard voice, asynchronic saving. So in Factorio on Linux, you can fork the Factorio and you can save the Factorio and play the Factorio at the same time, which is not possible on Windows because of how different operating systems works. in Windows, you cannot just copy and paste the application like that. In Linux, you can. You just copy Factorio, and that copy of Factorio is saving the game in the background while you are still playing. And they are changing it that it's being by default for... No, they are promoting it to test it on Linux and debug it, because right now it's hard to access it. You can access it, but it's kind of tough. So they want you to try it if you have Linux and report any bugs. And yeah, they are continuing to developing the game on Linux and Windows and Mac OS. Or wait, is Factorio on Mac? I'm not sure. Okay, nobody uses Mac. So another blog post. This is the last page. We are slowly coming to the newest feature, but let's go from the beacons. So the beacons, this is like a big change to Factorio, because it will... Okay, let's make full screen. So let's start from the beginning. In Factorio, there is like very few different designs. There is like the best design you can do and nothing else matter, which is kind of bad when you want to have some creativity. And this blog post is explaining why it's bad and how they are going to change that. So this is the problem. This is like the basic design of beacons. It's boring, like 12 beacons and that's all. This is the science production, 12 beacons and that's boring. There is a different production, just the beacons and that's all. Boring. 8 beacons built. There were basically two types of using the beacons. In a line like this one or in a square like that. And this was all. No creativity. This is why they are changing the approach. They are showing as an example how it works in the Factorio Space Age. So in Factorio Space Age, doing it at one take for 3 hours is hard. So sorry for that. So this is the space exploration. In space exploration, you can place one beacon to affect assemblers. If you place 2 beacons affecting one assembler, it's gonna disable the assembler. This creates new designs in space exploration. And here are the examples. Like you can see, the beacon is like the core of your factory, because it has a huge range, a huge amount of modules, and only one can affect the base, which was way different to a Factorio core. And Factorio developers thought that they also want to add some change to the beacons. And because of that, what is this? Hidden built-in? There is some modification that you can put more stuff to the assembling machines. Okay, so this is mod, we don't care about that. This is also a mod, we don't care about that. So the mod limitation, they explain how the beacons work in a mod and all of that, and the solution. So Václav, he's the guy. He was blackmailing the whole Factorio developer team to change the beacons. And when the space exploration creator got to the Factorio development team, he teamed up with the Václav, and together they changed the beacons. Like, this is a crazy story, but this is what happened. So they are explaining the solution that right now in Factorio, the beacons are working at 50% effectiveness, and they only have 2 slots for the modules, which definitely limits the amount of way you can use those. This is why they changed that. And now, the more beacons you have, the least effective they are to adding the bonus. So when you put one beacon, it's using 3 times. It's getting the 3 times the effectiveness of that beacon. So it used to be 0.5%, I mean 50%, 0.5 effectiveness, and now it's 3. So placing even one beacon like this is a huge change, because all of those assemblers will work 3 times faster. Like, will they? Wait. I forgot what was the range of the beacons, and I wonder if this beacon is affecting also this assembler. Okay, but let's say it won't, and let's say that this assembler this beacon is upgrading only those machines. So in that case, this machine is getting power of 6 speed modules, because there is one speed modules at 3 times the multiplier and another at 3 times multiplier. So this is like a huge upgrade for it. Or maybe it's only 3 times, because I don't know. But the long story short is it's a lot. And placing only one beacon will be a huge upgrade. And it's getting the diminish return the more you build the beacons. Also, the funny thing is, the old design works basically the same. Like when you build, let's go to the very top. When you build this or this design in new Factorio, the amount of bonus will be basically the same. I think it will be. There is written somewhere. Let's see. Okay, there. So the 8 beacons design will be 6% faster, and the 12 beacon design will get 13% slower. So it's different, but it's kind of similar. So it's not a big difference. The thing is, one beacon is broken. One beacon is OP, and you should put one beacon everywhere. And it's also smart way to use beacons with the what's the name? The green modules. I forgot because I never use those. They are useless. They used to be useless. Effectiveness modules? Yeah, I think they're effectiveness modules. So now you can use those in the beacons and they will be actually useful. Let's see. Yeah, so they reduce the electricity production, and the foundry is taking a lot of electricity, so it might be important to use those modules. Also, since those buildings are huge, you can put more beacons around them. Yeah, the conclusion is Václav was trying to implement this for 7 years now, or yeah. He was trying to implement it for 7 years, but the problem was he was like the only one trying to work on that. This is why okay, I don't know what happened. But since too much recording at one time. Okay, I already told you the story with Václav and with the Ernelt, the creator of the space exploration. So they team up together and they persuade the rest of the team to implement the beacon solution. Here is also the implementation of how the beacons works. Like, if something is stupid but works, it's not stupid. And if this is like the most efficient way to do stuff, then yeah, it's working, then it's fine. So this, I hope it's gonna change the way how people design the base, because now there will be more correct way to design a efficient base. And also the changes to stack belts, like here, it will also change the way how you design. So this is a good change because it will allow more creativity into the bases. So yeah, that was all for that post. And now let's go for this. Rocket turret and target priorities. So in Factorio 2.0, you can change the target priorities on your turrets, and in Factorio expansion, you get a rocket turret. So here is the rocket turret. Okay, that's very loud. You can use it on a spaceship, you can use it on the land, you can launch it with the nukes and nuke yourself very easily. Here is the example of using this on the what is the name? Rockets. Yeah, I guess I need some break. Too much talking. So this is the spaceship, and you can use it to destroy the asteroids in a pretty nice and simple way. So this is a pretty powerful rocket launcher. Here is the target priority. So you can change it to prioritize different asteroids. So if you want to use your rocket only on the toughest asteroids, you can do it. And if you want to have like a different ammunition and you want to use only yellow ammo on the low tier asteroids and use red ammo or uranium ammo only on tougher asteroids, you can do it. You can also change this in your walls to, for example, prioritize shooting the splitters. Here, you can also connect this to a circuit logic, so you can turn it on, off, set priority from the circuit logic, read the amount of ammunition, ignore stuff, and yeah, circuit logic will be huge in this update, so you better learn that. Let's see. Yeah, this is the example of using it. So you can read the content of the artillery, and based on that, you can request more shells for the artillery. The conclusion is you can have the new rockets. It's gonna be useful in the expansion, and yeah, good luck with using those. And yeah, so let's go to another blog post. Is all about asteroids. So here we'll learn something about the story, how they implemented the asteroids, how they changed how they look, how they changed the amount of spawning them. Here is the example of the early placeholder made by Václav. and yeah, they are just flying, but that was the placeholder. So they changed the design to something like this. This is like the early design. Here is the design for the metallic. This will give you the iron. This is for the carbon, and oxide is for ice blocks. So there are some shaders, so it's gonna look different. Great. And here's the animation without the textures, and here are the texture with and without the shades. Here are some other shades to show you how it looks like. Some more stuff, yeah, more shading and more stuff. Like, I'm going pretty quick about all of that because it's already pretty long video and I want to talk about everything. So if you want to go more in depth, just read it yourself. So here is like it looks like, and there also added the space dust shader. So here how it looks like, how it's gonna look in the space. They was experimenting with a different way how they can display that. So there are different iteration, different way, different shaders, and yeah, this is like the final effect with a new asteroids and new effects. Here is some more info about how they are being generated, how they are moving, and how they looks in the very end. This is the current state of the asteroids, and this is what you can expect from the game. And for the next blog post is this one. This is about the quality of life improvement and car latency driving. So it's another blog post with quality of life, and yeah, more quality of life is more better. So this is a huge change because in new Factorio you'll be able to undo the undo. So when you deconstruct something, you can undo this, but you can undo that undo. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, but this is working like Control Z and Control U in normal computers. I think it's U. Yeah, Control and this letter. You're also getting the information of how many stuff you deconstructed, what items you deconstructed, so you know what's going on. Also, when you want to undo some stuff that you did long time ago, like 5 minutes ago, you will get a pop-up asking you if you are sure that you want to do it. It's gonna be implemented in a no intrusive way. So when you are just building the stuff, you can just undo without any problems. But if you want to undo something that you did, yeah, here's the 5 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, or something like this, then it's gonna ask you. So it's like a quality of life that shouldn't interrupt your normal gameplay. Another thing, you will get a preview of stuff that you can undo. They are also improving the way how the circuit connection is working with undo. So you can undo the circuit connection. Here you can undo entity settings, which wasn't possible before. You can also undo the blueprint rotations, and yeah, overall better undo mechanic. Another thing is car latency driving. I don't know if you ever drive a car on a server being hosted in like a different continent. Like if you're in US and you are driving a car on a server from Europe, you will have a tough time. So they are improving that, and now it should be better. So here is the example of latency with 30 ticks, which is a half a second lag. Like half a second is a lot of lag for driving, especially a very fast car. And here is some view of how they fix that. This is what you see, and this is what games see, and this is a bit the problem. Because when you are running this tank, you are running through the belts and you are fine, but you are getting moved half a second later. So yeah, that was pretty annoying and pretty bad, and now they changed that. So it will be way faster to drive a car. You don't need to care about latency, and it will be overall better. Because yeah, when you put the nuclear fuel to the car, it was going so fast that it was basically impossible to drive on a server. It was also problematic with the tanks, because when you was using tanks, you was probably going around the biters. So with this change, it will be better. What else can I say? And yeah, that's all about this blog post. So let's go to another one. And another one is about the new planet. And new planet is Gleba. So let's zoom in. And this is Gleba. This is a new planet. This is how it looks like. And this is about vibe of this planet. So let's just... Oh yeah, my internet is being bad. So let's just wait for it to download. And let's look at other stuff in the meantime. So Gleba is a biological planet in which you plant trees to shoot aliens and like build factory. So yeah, here is the planet. Here is how it looks like. From what I know, most of the graphics on this planet is a placeholder. So I don't know if it will be looking like this in the final release or not. But basically there is a lot of different plants, a lot of different mushrooms, and yeah, just living planet. Can I launch this video somehow or... No, I cannot. So my internet is not being able to launch it, so I just go through. I guess the quality of this video is too high for me. So here's the planet. It's just having a different trees, different plants, different mushrooms, and different enemies. And that's all about this post. So we are going to post which will tell us more about the mechanic of this planet. Let's give it a second to load, and we are in. So you have different trees on Nauvis than you have on Gleba. Yeah, that's kind of obvious. And in Gleba, you have to plant the trees to use them in crafting. And to do so, you are getting this machine, which is harvesting and planting new trees. So when I zoom in, you can see that it planted a new tree. But before it harvested the previous tree. So let's look again about it. Yeah, harvest and planting. So this is planting and harvesting. It's getting the seeds as an input and it's outputting the fruits as an output. Okay, here's the crafting. And also there is a huge change. Huge change to what you can expect in Factorio. Because on Gleba, you get a new mechanic. This white bar, it's a time. It's a time in which you have to use item because otherwise it will go bad. It's like Chinese yuan. If you don't spend it, you're gonna lose it. So this makes any production on Gleba necessary to being used straight away. You cannot make bottlenecks. You cannot stockpile anything. You have to make a perfect ratio. You have to make everything efficient because otherwise your ingredient will go bad. So here is more harvesting. There is a large planting area, and there is a biochamber. Biochamber is a planet-specific crafter, and you are using it to craft the planet-specific recipes. It's taking some materials and it's outputting different materials. Like, yeah. Let's see, the spoilage. This is something your items going into when they go bad. So when the time run out, it's creating a spoilage. Also, the thing is, when you are crafting, for example, the science packs, from the old ingredients, you are making the science pack, which is also old. Yeah, so you have to build everything very optimal and very optimized. Otherwise, yeah, you will make almost depleted science packs, which is kind of sad because you have to take those science packs, transfer them to a different planet, and then use those in Nauvis to research the stuff. So if you transfer like already almost broken science packs, you can end up in a situation that when you go to your Nauvis planet, you want to research some stuff, the science pack can go already bad. Also, if it's science packs is set to 30% of like goodness, then you only get 30% of research from that science packs. So you also have to think about that. The way to deal with the spoilage, you either burn it in furnaces to make electricity, you use recycles to recycle them, or you turn those into nitrogen fertilizer. Yeah, you make the fertilizer from them, but it's already half broken, so I don't think it's the best way to do it. Yeah, they are making that planet-specific science pack and design journey, conclusion. So you have to make a pretty fast spaceship to transfer this science pack as fast as possible to don't lose its quality. And yeah, on this planet, you are getting resources by harvesting the trees. So On Vulcanus, you was making the resources from magma. On Fulgora, you was making the resources from scrap, and here you are harvesting the trees and you are using trees to make the resources. And that's all for this blog post. So let's go to another one, which is fix, improve, optimize. So in this blog post, they are talking about upgrades they did to improve the performance of the game. So for example, there was a problem with desynchronization when, okay, there is the list of what you have to do. The problem needed 4 different moving pieces tying together. There need to be enough CPU cores, they need to be chunk requests, generating and all of that. So they fixed that. They also changed the multiplayer auto pause. So now the game can automatically pause when somebody joined the game, and this way that person don't need to catch up to download the map. Because the way that it's work currently, when somebody is joining the game is being saved. That person is downloading the map. After he download the map, he then have to catch up, which is find all of the difference between the map that he downloaded and the current state of the game. And the problem with that was, if your internet was bad, like mine, then you had to pause the game manually and wait for that player to catch up. With this change, it can happen automatically. Also, the robots are smarter. They will faster find the tasks to do, and they will do it with a better performance. And that's all about this. Another change is to fluids. Let's open up this blog post. Let's wait it for load. So in Factorio, they are changing the way the fluids works. So the way the fluids works right now is the fluid is being pumped into the pipe, and from this pipe is going to another pipe, and then to another pipe, and to another pipe, and so on. That was like a very realistic way of liquids to travel. However, it was problematic because in this design, only 2 chemical plants are working. So you cannot make this design because you're getting bottlenecked by the pipe's throughput. This is why they changed the way how they calculate the inside of the pipe's algorithm. So now, like you can see, every chemical plant is working because the pipe is like not a single unit. All of the pipes are being connected together, and when you are pumping to this pipe, you are pumping to every single pipe at the same time. And here, there was only 2 chemical plants working. Meanwhile, here, all of the chemical plants are working. So here is a demonstration of how it works. So this is the old system. So when the fluid is being pumped to a pipe, it's slowly traveling from left to right, or from the input to output. Okay, let's look at it again. So yeah, it's going like this, which making a problems because this pipe is not being, the fluid from it's not being taken away fast enough. You can see it on this example. This fluid is full. It has 100% of capacity. Meanwhile, this has like, I don't know, 10%. So pumping all of this tank to this tank is taking forever. Meanwhile, in new Factorio, it will look like this. Hop. And everything is being pumped at the same time. And every single pipe is sharing the same fluid quantity. So yeah, you can also do this. In old version of Factorio, it was extremely hard to split the liquids. So in case like this, all of the liquid was going to the first tanks, which you can see here that everything is going to first 2 chemical plants. And that was a problem. And now you can do balancers for the fluids. And it looks like this. Every single output is getting the same amount of liquid because there is the pump taking from like the whole connected pipe. There is no single pipes anymore. There's like one big pipe. So the problem with this is it's least realistic. So some people might don't like it because why on earth when you pump fluid here, it's being instantly there. It's like make no sense. But it's a video game, so not everything has to be realistic to be fun. Fun is way better than being realistic. Like the old system, it was making problems. Here is the problem. So you was making the water here, and this was getting way more water than this chemical plant. And in the result, you was getting way more fuel than oxidizer. And the problem is, you need both. And you are crafting only one. And when you have the full storage, then you can craft the second one. With new system, you are making both at the same time. So yeah, what else can I say? This is how it's gonna work. Also pumps, this is the old way how you have to deal with the fluids. You have to put a lot of pumps to pump at high pressure for the output. Now you can just connect everything and you're fine. You don't need to place pumps everywhere because it just works. It's very helpful for the late game designs. Like this is the old version. Like you can see, those pipes are full and they are not working. Those pipes are getting quickly filled up and not quickly enough. They are being, the fluid is not being output from them quick enough. Here in new version, everything is working. Everything is fine. It's less realistic, but it's working. And here they are talking about it being not realistic, but it's more fun. So another blog post is this one, Space Age Development. Here they are talking about the whole story, how it started, how they was developing it, how they come up with the idea, how it looked like with all of the presets. Like there was no graphing in the very beginning, it was looking like this one. Those was the engines, this was the Vulcanus in the very beginning. This is that biological planet, just look at those trees. Those are the tiles from the Nauvis. Everything is being a placeholder. There is this is that electric planet where you are harvesting the scrap. So it used to work in a way that you was getting the ore from the ores, which was boring because it was another planet in which you have to get the resources in the same way. So they was working on that, changing everything. Also the game was too long in the beginning, so they had to simplify it a lot. For example, that biological planet, it used to have 12 different plants and they changed that to 2. Also, they changed the way how you craft the stuff. They used to have only one recipe for one item. They changed it. And now in the expansion, you can have multiple recipes to make a single item. And thanks to that, they can simplify some crafting recipes. Like on this biological planet, you can use plants to craft everything. Wait, there is... yeah, in the old version, you have to mine the ore. In the new version, you have to use the fruits. The fruits to make everything. Also, there used to be multiple landing pads. There used to be multiple landing pads. Now you can make only single one. So you have to decide where you want to unload your rockets. Yeah, there is more iteration, more upgrading, more changes and that. There was some grind, there was some working on the bases, explaining the new stuff, Factoriopedia, dealing with the UI, Asteroid graphics. In 2024, the game was looking way more better. There was balance, there was all of that. The game looks like this, and yeah, that was the development of all of that. If you want to read that more in depth, go for it. But yeah, I just gonna go for another blog post, and this is about Space Age release date. So the Factorio Space Age is going to be released at October 21 this year. However, we plan, I'm gonna zoom in, we plan to release. I wonder if it's gonna work. Like the Factorio Space Age is already late with the development. Like they was planning to make it in 1 year and they are doing it for 3 years, 4 years? I don't know, but it's already took them some time. So I hope that they plan to release the Factorio Space Age at October and they also going to release it on October. Will they? I don't know. We'll see. And here they are talking about the content, they are talking about how the space platform working, about the Vulcanus, Fulgora, Gleba, how the elevated rails work, something about the quality, and more stuff, like the last planet, which is a frozen planet, which is dark and cold, and new enemies, new music, and new changes to Factory Core. Like you don't need to spend $35 on the new expansion because you will also get the benefits of quality of life upgrades to the core. And yeah, this is all about the space exploration. This is everything what we know so far, And thank you for watching. That was a very long video, so if you are still here, thank you for watching, and feel free to subscribe if you want more content. And also, big thanks to my patrons who support me. You guys are rock, and yeah, see you later. Bye.